All right, boys and girls, just want to remind everybody that all workshop council meetings will be audio and video taped. They'll be shown on the Township of Ocean's Community Cable Channel, Channel 22, on Verizon Fios and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher?
Here.
Council members Achara?
Here.
Kaplan?
Here.
Terry?
Here.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 14, 2023. We're going to go over various township projects. I'm going to start off with Greg.
Okay,
Go
good
ahead,
evening,
sir.
everybody.
Good evening.
Just to go through the road programs, 2022, that's Roosevelt Avenue, Turner and all that. The contractor's gonna be starting in the 25th of March, finishing up the curb work, and then paving will follow behind that. 23 program, we've got scheduled meetings for concrete assessment, Jesse and I, for April 8th and 9th with the residents. And once we get through that, we'll be putting that project out to bid probably by the end of April. 24 program we're just getting into. Once the budget's passed, we'll figure out the roads we're gonna do. Next one that's changed, 1000 Wicca-Pecca, we're finalizing all the electrical work, the HVAC ductwork's done. The HVAC equipment is in, but they're missing 2 parts. So we don't want them to start until all the parts are in. But that should be another week or so. So that's coming along pretty nicely. They're gonna be painting that building, the interior, starting next Monday. It's coming along pretty good. If you had a little time, you might wanna stop in and see it.
When do we expect it to be up?
We're supposed to be pretty much done by the end of March. Oh, no, I'm sorry, end of April. Because the parking lot improvements are gonna be done probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. The golf TrackMan guy's coming in April 1st to put the system. It takes about a week. So probably by the second week of April, we'll be in pretty good shape for the facility going through its paces for testing and all.
Does he have a grand opening date scheduled?
Well, I think Mike has something, but I don't really know what the date is. Something in, I think, the beginning of May, first week of May.
When's the course open? March?
First weekend of April. The 3 ponds, there's no action on that. That's a further discussion with the budget for the ponds, the dredging. 1515 Logan, no change. We are gonna get a bill for the DEP permit that we are requesting is $18,400, I believe it was.
What?
So that's coming, that'll be delivered to us through the mail probably in another week or so.
We knew that before or not?
No, we just found out that that's what the fee was. The DEP gave us a heads up that it'll be mailing the bill to the town because we're the applicant. So,
That was my same sentiment.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
it's a crazy number.
We're looking into that.
Yeah, their fees are just outrageous. So
And that was because of Discovery, right?
No, that's just our permit. We have a buffer averaging that we went. We have a little bit of disturbance and not even in a floodplain. It's a flood study to establish the 100-year flood line, a little bit of buffer averaging.
And that's not on an existing survey already?
No, that was all just done. That piece of property was not previously studied for the flood. So we established a floodplain and, yeah, when they come, I'll give you the breakdown. It was like, there's like 4 sections, each one was about $5,000. And I couldn't believe
If you were a betting man, not betting man, let me do it a different way. I mean, pick one topic and say how many hours one of those would have taken to do.
What do you mean?
I mean, they're charging us 5,000. Is it 2
Oh.
hours? Is it 50 hours? Is it?
The level of effort, I guess, is what you're getting
Yeah,
at.
the problem with it is, I mean, it truly depends on the reviewer. Something this small and the drainage area to this site is under 100 acres, so they usually don't care about that. You still have to establish the line. They could just look at it and say it looks pretty good and pass it along. It could be that fast. Somebody might get into it and look at it for 10 hours. It just depends on the reviewer. I've had both. I've had some that review things so fast they actually made mistakes when their boss got to it. But I mean, I would tend to say as busy as they are, it's going to be pretty much a cursory, quick review and pass it along. But that's the problem. This is one of the things I was talking to Margie about. One of the biggest problems we have with the DEP is the fees. And that's one of the things I was saying is with her now being at that level, we were saying we would like to, wanted to talk to her about starting to push to reduce the fees for municipalities. It's not like we're a developer and we're gonna gain anything out of these fees. You know, 15 look. aside, but generally, like when we have to go and clean out, head walls because all the silt in there, and we need stream cleaning permits and all that stuff, like dredging out Deal Lake, that's $100,000 permit just to keep before you even start the work.
Is that anything like what we're allowed to charge downstairs, that we can't charge more than our actual costs? I guess that doesn't apply to the state?
No, it doesn't apply to the state. They base
Yet.
it all on the, most of the biggest problem you have with the state, they charge based on the size of the property. So a lot of times what I've done in the past, like we represent a lot of beach communities, and we wanna do things to get a beach permit, well, they charge you based on the acreage of the beach. So we've subdivided off the beach into a little half-acre piece to reduce the fee. But that creates a bunch of little lots in the future, it gets confusing after a while, but that's what sometimes you have to do, that's just the way they're set up, it's per acre, the size of the lot. A little different. Next item was Bimbler. I got a call from the county. We've been after this for a while. This is related to the right turn with the traffic coming through. And you remember back when I talked to them about a year ago, we asked for no left turns by the Aldi there, and they kind of committed they would put the no left turns in. They kind of recanted that because Asbury Park found out about it, and they said, well, that traffic's gonna come down to us. And I believe it was 4th Street. I don't remember if you go down there before you hit,
The traffic light?
Before you hit the traffic light, there's a little street just to the west of that cuts off to the northeast, which goes right to 4th Street. I think it might be an extension of 4th Street. Everybody would go up that, and I was like, it's not my problem, it's in Asbury Park. Well, the county doesn't want to push people in there without talking to Asbury Park about it, so they're trying to set up a joint meeting between us and them to discuss these no left turns and the impact it's gonna be. So that's still
I'm gonna
all.
put one there too, and make them go to the light.
That's would be my suggestion to them, but that's something they gotta figure out, but that would be a perfect thing, because you don't want somebody turning left that close to the light
Right.
anyway.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's something we have to discuss with them, so that's still all in the mill. The next one was, crosswalks, we talked about, the one at Maple's gonna be part of the 23 road program. The one on South Lincoln, I talked to the county about your question about whether it had to be flashing, they said yes. Because of the geometry and the volume of traffic, they just don't want a static one out there, they want at least the flashing lights, the repetitive flashing lights. They said, they got away from putting, remember I told you that big high one over the top of the road, they got rid of that whole theory there, but they said they would want the flashing lights.
And what did we estimate that to be?
That's about $30,000. That's the old way. It might be a little more now because they used to let us use solar. We'd actually they don't let you use solar anymore on county roads, you actually have to tie it into an electric service. So that could cost us probably another $4,000 or $5,000 depending on where the transformer and the pole is. If it's right there, it'd be cheaper. If it's a little distance away, it might be a little more expensive to, we gotta cable over to it. So, but that's a problem.
And how do we decide on this? I don't know what the process really is.
We decided, I think last meeting you decided you weren't gonna pay that kind of money to put one of those in right now.
It was 30 at the time too? What was
Yeah,
it?
it
I
would
remember
still-
the conversation, I didn't remember the
It
number.
would still be about 30, 34 tops, with the electrical. Because I know the ones we just put down in here on Monmouth, going across for the golf course, those were solar and those were 30, just about 29 or 30,000 to put those
What did the one at West Park cost?
in.
County put that in.
Park.
In front of Heritage Villa Post
Oh,
Office?
yeah, the county put that in. Oh, no, we put that in, that was like 30,000 by the post office. That took a lot of doing with the county, that was not an easy one.
I got a call this week about that, complaining it's still dangerous. I'm like, well, yeah, it's dangerous if you don't cross at the crosswalk.
Yeah,
When you cross at the street, you're in trouble.
yeah. You gotta
Person
go
said
through
they
the
did cross at the crosswalk, and I'm like,
And nobody yielded?
That is a problem. The problem, like I mentioned before, you put too many of this in and people get desensitized to them. And it really becomes an enforcement issue because, you see people staying there a lot. And I feel bad because you come down like, certain roads that we put them in and you see a kid standing there with a bike, most people won't stop.
right.
And then you stop for them and you feel very bad because if the guy coming the other way doesn't stop,
Oh,
you're
well,
gonna get that
Well,
kid killed.
what the person said on this one was, and I can't remember exactly where it is, well, there are 2 lanes there.
Mhm.
That one lane will stop, the other one didn't.
Right. And if he can't see you coming up behind the car, that's
Right.
a dangerous head.
Yeah.
That was tough because the sight distances there were a problem too with some of the vegetation. That's why we had to move it a little bit.
So they're calling Tom and Joe Atura to see. I said, I gotta tell you, it took us 2.5 years to get it done. I know they did all their homework on it, but if
Yeah.
you can get it changed, God bless you.
Yeah, the only thing they would probably do is take it out. If it becomes that dangerous, they would probably just remove the crosswalk, make you come down to the light, or move it further further east, where you only have, one lane each way instead of where it widens
Well,
out there.
hell, one lane, you gotta go all the way back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's because it's not safe. That's the problem.
There was this woman crossing on a scooter across that. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, oh, scary.
You know. Okay, the next one, Deal Road sidewalks, the bids were received, they're under budget. They was received them, yesterday, so that came in, so be recommended award of that at the next council meeting. Next one was the Roller Road, pedestrian travel bikeway. We got bids on that yesterday, and it's under the bid estimate, so we'll be good on that. So that'll be awarded, to both be pretty much awarded and probably under construction by late spring, which will be good. The next one was, the dog park. Last time you asked me to talk about a dog park, I actually maybe take one, spread them around.
Thank you.
Kind of hard to see a little bit, but you can see right at the entrance, I got kind of like a black outlined area right by the entrance there on the north side of the entrance drive-in. But it's about 160 by 160.
Where are you now?
This is the entrance of Wells
Well,
Park?
Yeah.
Next to Falco's
No,
house.
JPP. Joe Clay Park.
Oh, next.
Off of Whale
That's his
Pond.
house.
Oh, that's where we're putting it? We moving?
That was the first
Well, the other
time.
one was on county, the county
Yeah.
won't let us do it there.
So this got shot
Well,
down.
they will, but they
Yeah.
have.
This
you
was
know,
the original spot
was
for
the
the
original
playground.
spot.
Yeah, this was where the pond was gonna be.
Okay.
yeah,
And it was the original spot for the dog park.
originally.
That's Falco's
Chris
house
didn't
next
want
door.
See, all
This
back,
neighbor
right
didn't
back where
want
we
there.
started.
What neighborhood?
Neighbor.
Neighbor.
So this is Joey?
Steve.
Steve.
Steven?
Yeah.
This neighbor didn't want it.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah, that was the original. This was, I don't know if it was first, but it was in the
We
top
didn't
two
even
or three.
have it out there.
What's that?
I mean,
No, right here.
Yeah, it
Nothing
never
was
made
even
it.
discussed.
The
we were
last time
actually
when I
trying
brought
to
that
convert this
spot,
building
the
into
first one
like
I
a-
suggested, it never
like
made
a
it
snack
past
bar.
here.
Yeah, I don't know how
It was-
the neighbor could object. We didn't even get out of the table here.
This
We didn't
was-
even discuss it.
No. This was when we started 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
or a year or two ago, whatever it was.
Way before that.
Yeah, because I'm saying this.
It was
Dave-
dismissed
Dave
before the
wasn't even
playground.
here.
Yeah,
We
probably
were
right.
looking at this for the playground. The dog park wasn't even on
And the
top.
playground's going back at least 3 years,
Yes.
right?
Then we're gonna put the ice pond in there,
Yeah, we had the Maya
Right.
Pond, we had the park, we
which I
had.
still think would have been pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since we first started.
Have we
that.
talked to Steve?
Not yet, I mean, I wanted to show you guys, because we will have to talk to him, but that was kind of where.
I guess my only gripe with this is, unfortunately, he's gotta live next door to this. There's nothing that we can take it out in the center of nowhere.
Well, you can put it just on the same, and within the picture, you can move it to the left. In that area, it looks like a little browned out area, and there's more
Yeah.
trees there, we'd have to take, not trees, you take all the underbrush out of the trees. You can move it there, but it's not getting any further, then it's just on his back property line instead of the side property line.
I don't know.
But other than that, you can't move it
I
any
think that's
further
more
north,
agreeable.
because it's not our property. Further west than that, it's the athletic
Up
field.
here.
This is way
Yeah,
in
it
his
looks
entertaining.
Yeah.
This back here
So,
might
yeah.
not be as
This
much
is
as
somebody's house
intrusive.
right
No,
What's in his
that's
entrance
our
door?
building.
I think you could do it where the side is,
Yeah.
because this
Oh,
is right where his
okay.
backyard and his side
Okay.
yard. Back here, you have a buffer.
I don't know.
I mean, we could
I-
put trees here and be a
It's gonna
further
be by somebody's
buffer.
house the way we're going, and we don't have a lot of property that's not.
We
by
don't have a
us.
little land out in
There's
a
no,
cornfield somewhere and.
Well, we have, the only place I know we have some land is over in the industrial park, but I don't know that would be very
We can't
heavily
increase
traveled.
landscape here to,
Won't knock down the noise.
oh, he's worried about the noise. I thought the visual. Okay.
Because we could easily buffer that, we could even
Yeah.
put a solid fence on that side, we could try to cut down on the noise, but it's just a barking.
Yeah.
Can we make it certain hours that,
I was just thinking that
Yeah,
too.
you can
That
do
was
it.
my next guess.
Because really, the park hours are dusk, so it would only be open normal,
Right.
sunlight hours, but, yeah, I mean, that's up to you guys to limit the use of it.
And if you move it further west, that doesn't encroach on, is there a field right there?
Just off of the field to the left of the picture, there's a field, so the far west as we can move it would be on this picture, just to the left side of that picture. So it would be on his back property line.
Right, but that doesn't touch, I feel like there's something there,
No,
no,
because
just
you
the
could-
playground a little bit further up?
Yeah, you can see how the grass starts to get a little green there on the left side of the picture, that's
Soccer.
where the beginning of the field is.
Okay,
But I know that, I think this is kinda like a warm-up area, because
I've never seen
Trico
people,
wasn't really.
I've never seen people there.
No, they use it for the soccer tournament and stuff.
Do they?
Yeah, yeah.
Just overflow area, just for teams to you know, gather.
Okay.
But Mike, when I talked to Mike Patrick about that, he preferred we didn't use that because it is overflow for the fields in the tournaments.
And I'm sorry, here or here is
There,
overflow?
that's
There
it,
is
there,
overflow,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I got you.
Yeah, like they'll put a small
Yeah.
sided soccer field over there or something.
Yeah, the area we have with this shown, he didn't have a problem with this being there, but that's.
From a fishing pond to a dog park, I don't think it's gonna be received well.
Not the same, not the same.
I don't
Steve was
know
okay with
about
the
this
fishing rod?
one.
Yes.
Fish are quiet.
Until you catch the big one.
I'd have to go back to the fishing pond.
Next one,
Hold on, what are we gonna do with this?
well, I think that's something you gotta kinda think about, I don't know we're gonna make a decision on.
Oh, no,
tonight.
no, I'm just
sure.
asking next steps.
I think we'd have to reach out to that homeowner and tell him, you know, this is a possibility. I think he'd be the only one really impacted. Maybe
And
the
this is
guy-
county money, like the other one that was on West Park wasn't our money, right?
Yeah, that one was on a county property, they were gonna do most of that. This is gonna be us and be our money.
And how much are we guessing?
This would just be the cost of the fence, it's probably, I didn't do the linear, that's,
And Green
probably-
Acres doesn't have to say Mother May I.
Yes.
We do have to do a Mother May I
Yeah,
Green Acres?
But
Okay.
they, with the use, I'm sure they would prove that. It's probably about $25,000 in fencing.
Open space?
Yeah, we can go for open space
Yeah.
grant.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a
Not grant,
question.
open space fund.
Yeah, we could do that too,
Mhm.
yeah. But I'd go for a grant first and see if we
Sure.
get that, and then, yeah. I'm trying to use that money to clean the stream through there.
Get it from the county, since the county was gonna pay for it anyway.
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to make your life more complicated, but, and I know that the museum didn't want the dog park either, but it seems to me like that's more of a neutral location. Even if it's a temporary dog park, it would be, I think, a better scenario.
West of the museum, or where are you thinking?
Somewhere in that, you know, where they landed the helicopter, or even like, you know, east of the museum, like kind of in between the social services building.
We kinda got
Isn't
that
that being targeted for something
Oh,
else?
Yeah.
'Cause
But is there any
Like
other?
you said, temporary.
Is there any other space over there in that
Vicinity,
Like where that brick wall that,
that has parking.
yeah.
Yeah, there's that one wall there, there's really nothing used for that. I think the Boy Scouts kind of beautified that area a little bit. But that's
Small,
on the
right?
smaller side, yeah.
Yeah, it's not big enough.
just speaking as a homeowner,
I'm
I don't
happy,
think I'd be real happy with this.
I don't have any problem in calling him and getting his temperature on, I saw him yesterday, but
You're gonna get the
It's gonna be hot.
temperature.
It's gonna be hot.
I figured, but
I
I
don't
think
know.
this cell would be easier than that,
yes.
moving it here
Yeah,
as
on
opposed to
outside,
here.
yeah.
Into
And
his
we
backyard.
agree to do something here
Right,
You need a buffer.
right.
with the tree, like
Right.
get the tree commission in.
Right.
Well, I would defer to the homeowner personally.
Oh,
'cause-
absolutely. I think that's,
Yeah.
you got it.
I'll call him.
Yeah.
Maybe give him the option, we could move it towards his backyard if that would, he'd prefer that, but.
What if he goes with a hard no?
It's not
Back to the
really at his
drawing board we
discretion,
go.
For the
unfortunately.
next piece of property.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, we've been playing with this thing too long.
I agree,
I
but
mean, too long, we said we were doing it, so we need to make a decision, and if you don't like the spot, come up with 3 more for the next meeting,
I'm
and
trying,
let's
man.
mix it up. Just go ride around town and see where there's space. I mean, we need to stop kicking the can.
What about west of the municipal gym on West
Keep my
Park?
nosy out.
That's dead space, or is that overflow parking?
That's all county.
Great.
That's where we were gonna put this in the first place.
No,
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 no, no.
up
He's
by the
talking up
junior
by the
high.
by the
municipal
picket
gym.
field over there.
Oh, that's all wetlands. That we can't use that either. That's targeted for something else also. Because the
Really?
west side of that building, we
Yeah.
don't have a lot of space to the property line. It's probably 50 feet max.
Not the football.
I know cars have gone in there.
Football field on the south side, this would be on the west side.
Right.
As we go up the hill.
It's like some weird
It's all
parking on
a
the
bunch
side
of
there.
trees.
Yeah.
And so there's really not a parking, there's an access road, but we
Yeah.
have, there's a stone
Yeah.
path in there. It looks like a road or something, but actually that was because there's no gutters on the building.
Okay.
And I had to put the stone in there to stop the erosion from the roof runoff.
Gotcha.
What about west of Dow Avenue School? Oh no, is that all softball? There's no space past the softball before you get to that cross street?
Yeah, plus we'd have a lot of residents on the other side of that too.
But at least they're not bumping up to it.
Yeah.
It would be across the street.
How big's a dog park gotta be? Because one at Tinton Falls is not particularly large.
That one's about 200 by
You got room in
200,
your
this is
backyard?
about 160 by 160. So this is not they're normally about 200 by 200, but it really is a function of how many dogs you have, whether it's big enough. And
Yeah.
You know, if you only have 5 dogs show up, this is gonna be plenty big enough.
Is there a way to move it closer to this roadway? like,
Is it-
I don't
If we
know,
take,
like
well, that
square it
was one
off
of the
and,
suggestions, you know, if
That's
we
gonna
take
be
that building out,
municipal.
yeah.
but right now it's only used for storage by the Public Works Department, but yes, we could move
I think
that
there's
further
bad
down.
stuff in there though, right? Isn't that why we
See,
could
the
not
other
use it? It could
issue-
not be
The other issue is
I
too,
don't know
the
what,
properties
I
that
think
we
what they have
have,
stored in there, but there may be
we don't
parts
wanna
of the
go
building that are bad.
installation and stuff. I
we
think
don't
it's
wanna whack
bad.
out trees.
We're probably better off getting
That's
rid
the
of it
other
anyway, though,
issue.
if it's bad,
Mhm.
just to do it.
Yeah, we couldn't use it when we were doing the pond.
Right, we should probably.
What's up in the industrial park? You said there's land, but you don't wanna use it?
Well, no, the problem is there's a
Wetlands,
piece up there,
gotta
but
ask
the
Greg.
topography is really
That's what
bad.
he was
It drops
trying to
about
avoid
30 feet
with the
across the
wetlands.
property,
I don't
so
think we
it's just,
have.
you know, it's just too steep to,
Yeah.
because people aren't, I mean, the dogs would probably not have a problem with it, but people just trying to go and get their dog would be quite a hike thing, get down there.
Is there any extra land? Is it one of
Can't do
Massive
it
Fire
there.
Company wanna donate us a
Won't be able to
200
use
by
it.
200 piece?
Oh, over by the Fireman's Field back there?
Yeah.
I think they.
Where?
Back by the other Fireman's Field off, up Sunset all the way to the end?
Now you gotta go.
Like by
in
Costco back there?
The back.
I mean,
There's no-
I'm
it's
telling
not
you, that's like where you
accessible.
need to put this, you
It's
know?
at the
Another bad one.
Especially since it's got the football field and everything already there.
The one in Tin Falls is just in the right spot. I mean, it's just, cause there's just nothing else there, you
Yeah.
know?
Is there anything back there, to Dave's point? I can't think of it.
Tin Falls?
No, sorry.
Oh.
Wanamassic Fireman's Field area.
I wasn't thinking Winnemasset, I was thinking the other one.
There's just tennis courts on the left side.
If you
go
take
behind the
Sunset
building,
as
behind
far
the
west as
building.
you can go.
I think that's where the
That
fire
Fireman
department
Park.
is, behind the building.
Softball fields back
That's
there.
their driveway
Oakhurst,
out.
Larkin.
Are you talking about
No.
Oakhurst or Wanamassett? I'm
Other
talking
side of the
about
highway.
by Costco.
That's still called Wanamassic
One
Fireman's
by-
It is?
Oh, you're talking one of Massive Fireman's.
Yeah.
Way up
She is,
Sunset
but she-
Avenue.
You go
Way,
all the
way,
way up
way
Sunset
up.
Avenue.
Sunset Avenue.
You didn't understand why that
Land.
was called Wanamassett?
All right, yeah,
that's
not the
what
case.
it's called.
It's like in Wayside.
They-
That's
I know
pretty
there's
cool.
fields.
It's Wayside.
Yeah.
And we,
They have a
Where?
softball
Where
field.
one of Masses?
and
You mean
then,
that fire? No.
Yeah.
Past
But I'm pretty
past
sure
the
that's
utility
all
center,
used. I know the one
and you
side
keep
of
on
it that's a
going.
little
That's
open.
considered Winnemasset
Yeah,
Fireman's
it was
Field.
all-
Utility
Firehouse in
center.
Wayside.
Past where you, recycling.
Oh.
Keep going up.
I'll look at
Well,
it.
you gotta make a
There might
left.
be-
No.
And then-
Yes.
That'd be a good
You don't
spot
take it all the way to the end?
I'm just saying.
Gotta make a
Okay,
left.
Greg.
and then
Then
right.
right.
Okay, and then take it to
Oh,
the
you
end?
He's
do
right
have that
by-
property, the Valley Road
I got
property
That
that we
is
had
one
to
Massive
switch
Fireman's
of land with.
That's the one that's
We
like
gotta kill
this.
some time.
And there's nothing there we could
Because
use?
that would be perfect.
200
They
by
have the
200, that's
fields.
not
They
very
mark
big.
the fields
We'll just
out,
have a
so-
dog slide.
Take a ride. Hey, Greg, is there any space up in that one of Massive Fireman's? They
That's
have
what I'm-
all fields out there.
Yeah, I was just talking to David, I think on the south side of that, I think they have an open area.
They do.
But I don't remember how big it is, because I know we looked at it, that's where all their fields drain into that spot. But I'll go take a look at it and I'll let you know.
I can take a ride up to tomorrow and then we can talk, and if it looks like it's feasible, I'll reach out
Yeah.
to them
Yeah.
and see if, you know, because that's their field, not ours,
Right.
right? We don't have the fields, they have everything up there, I believe.
Did
Nope.
we, am I wrong? I know we did Oakhurst. Don't we have the same lease with Wanamassett?
We have a lease.
A dollar? No?
Marty?
We do have a lease.
Wow.
I'm
I'm hearing the bleachers, man.
Here, man.
Yeah, glad you came now.
You're getting paid, you might as well work.
You're in the room,
We're both
buddy.
here for the same price.
No, but you would know about one of Massa.
I don't remember,
Okay.
but,
Well, do
We
we,
do.
we could find that out.
we have a lease, I think.
Yeah, we can look it up.
Because we have to, we did work, or we're doing work on the building for them, because that's part of our responsibility. So, yeah, that, there's some sort of partnership up there. just have to
No, there
see.
definitely is, because I remember we had one issue with them in those fields.
Yeah, we can, that's
Jesse
easy.
and I look
Yep.
forward
Easy
to it.
lift. All right, well, you didn't help out any more.
Why change anything?
Rough crowd.
Okay, Greg, we got anything else?
Yeah, a couple more. You don't want to keep that?
I got one.
Okay.
I'm gonna show it to him.
Next one, the street cleaning has been completed. We made it from the railroad tracks on Poplar Brook to Monmouth Road. So it's a pretty good stretch, and it was a really, I think I told you last time, at the eastern end of that, the brook, there was a major blockage. There was a 36-inch tree laying across that, with a bunch of cross branches blocking that whole thing. So a lot of that was cleaned up and probably a lot less flooding along that portion, but we still have to move forward going further west. One of the things I'm at now, the problem we have between Whale Pond and Monmouth and Whale Pond is a lot of private homes, so access is gonna be a little more of a problem. So I'm gonna probably look at that and figure out how we're gonna get in there, but in the meantime, I'm gonna talk to Ricky about using the open space fund to clean through Playa Park.
that was gonna be my next question, but I think that's exactly where the flood that I'm
Yeah.
worried about is.
Yeah,
It's
across the
right-
trails there, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things in there, we got a lot of things we can clean up in there. It's not gonna be a difficult cleanup because it just hasn't been manicured for many, many years. There's just trees blocking stream corridors, so it's easy to clean.
And it seemed like that night, I took a ride around, it seemed like some of the areas that normally flood with that amount of rain in that area that we cleaned so far seems okay. The only big area of concern that I had was Deal Park.
Yeah.
So Greg and I spoke, I reached out to the administrator / chief in Deal. We're gonna have a joint meeting with them to discuss the idea of expanding our outfall pipe. But their problem that they found out was that the Army Corps of Engineers, and Greg, you can correct me if I'm wrong, when they did their outfall pipe, it didn't extend out far enough, and it seems to be clogged with sand, so that's why this water is not getting out of here. So we might get a certain amount out of Ocean Township, but it doesn't get out of Deal. That's their problem. So we really have to have a joint meeting with Deal to work on this together to get that water out, because that seems to be the problem. And I had called Dave that night and the chief about it was primarily Runyon and Parker and those other areas in the middle. It just seems like that water goes in and it floods up, and it's deep too, because I had my truck and it was very, very deep water. So
Especially down on Washington Avenue at the end,
Yeah.
it's pretty deep.
yeah, so I mean, I think that the fact that we're trying to be proactive here and meet with Deal so that we can come up with a unified way to fix this, and potentially get the Army Corps of Engineers to get in here and, fix the problem that may have been created by them. I mean, because the stream cleaning is definitely gonna help
Yep.
and move that water, because when we went down to that one section, over by Poplar Village, it was unbelievable that everything, when we walked down there a few months ago, everything was blocked up at the end. It almost looked like a dam. It looked like a beaver built a dam down there. It was all like major logs and just junk, so.
And it was holding about 3 feet of water.
Yeah, so that was definitely not, so that's another reason why the water wasn't getting out. Yeah.
So the outflow that you're talking about is at the ocean, at the ocean?
That's different than Poplar Brook.
No, right, the
But
one he
this-
was
this
talking
one
about in Deal.
Is in the ocean, yeah. We're
Okay.
trying to cross into Deal.
Got it.
But that system would go into that
Right.
culvert they have in the ocean, which is partially.
Greg also, we were out there, Greg, Dave and I, when we were doing that run over to check the spot over in Wanamassa as well, Lollipop Pond. We went over to check transit out. We met with transit. They didn't push back on what Greg suggested. We definitely need a bigger outfall pipe. It's not designed correctly. There's only a 15-inch pipe. Greg thinks we need at least, two 15s
Yeah, 2 15s or a 24.
or
depending on the-
24,
Kind of head cover we have.
and go under and get this water out. There's 2 sections that we need to do it, and we need to look into every way possible to get this fixed, because it's getting worse. And it's gonna destroy our roads that we spend money on the road program quicker than we need them to be destroyed. So, we're on that. I believe,
We
did
tried to have it be
he
for-
get back to us with a date yet?
They were gonna try to have it tomorrow, but I think somebody on their side couldn't make it tomorrow.
Okay.
But it'll probably be next week sometime.
Okay, good. Yeah, the sooner we have that, then we can start, getting up on things. So that's added to, we added that to the facilities, meeting that we had.
Right. And then my last item was the new DPW facility on Cindy Lane, Ocean Glades. We met with the DEP on Wednesday, and it was a very positive meeting. I was very surprised. They brought, I think, 5 people with them, represented 3 different groups. Landfill, the only ones that weren't there was the eco group, the ecology group. But they had the landfill, the hazardous waste, and various different groups. We showed them the site, they realized it, they realized this was all done back in the 50s and 60s, well, probably 40s and 50s. But the bottom line is how we get to the end is what we have to determine with them, but they are gonna allow us to cover that the way we wanna cover it, and put, pavement over it all, to cover it, to seal everything in there that's in there, the lead and all. And cap it off, yeah, and then, put our DPW facility, they don't have a problem with that. It's, the only caveat we have is if they're gonna consider it as a landfill, or as, unpermitted disposal and fill. So that's what they're gonna determine. We're gonna do a couple of testing on sites to give them a little more base information with our LSRP. And once we give them that, then they're gonna go back and figure out. And the reason we want, unpermitted fill, it's a lot less hazardous, a lot less expensive to go that way than if we consider it a landfill. Because a landfill has to be regulated and monitored for 50 years after we're done. The other one is you just cap it and we're done. So that's the two caveats we have. It's gonna take us a little bit of time to get to that point. There's some testing has to be done, but once they get that information, and then they said it would take about 2 to 3 months, and they'll give us a decision which way it is, and then we can draw a path on what we have to do. Once we have the path, then we can find out what kind of funding we're gonna go after from the state from a Brownsfield point of view to help us clean it up. One of the things, they may make us remove some of the bad areas, which we weren't really in favor of, because why do you wanna open it up? So it really comes down to what kind of volume you have and what they find down there when you do the test pits. If it's just I think the leftover cars and batteries, I think they're kind of the attitude, it shouldn't be a problem. If they find garbage of any other kind down there, they're probably gonna call it a landfill, and the conditions will be a little different.
Does this have anything to do with Board of Ed?
I was
Or
just
is
gonna
this-
ask the same question. We were
That's-
looking at
that's
that
part B.
property,
I
right?
didn't get to that part yet.
Go ahead.
But actually, the mayor was gonna talk about that.
We met with the Board of Ed, we threw this out there about Cindy Lane, because one of their main issues was if they were
In and
to
out, right?
get out of their,
I would say that.
building, that they need a spot for their maintenance department. So Cindy Lane and what Greg put together seems to fit what they need also with us, including their buses. Greg did
I
a,
thought they didn't like it for the buses because there's no
they.
clear path of coming in and out.
We didn't have a clear answer for them that we could actually do it, that was the problem, so there was really no, moving forward. Now that Greg actually eyeballed everything up, did a quick drawing, things fit, so now they have to think about, cause now it's in their lap, if they wanna go in the facility with the municipality, which would be a shared service agreement that we could, ultimately discuss with them, if they, choose to do that. We're offering it there, they have things that we can work on with them as well.
They pitched an alternate site too, though, didn't they? Off
Uh,
Sunset somewhere? If
Yeah,
the
well,
Cindy
that
Lane
was our
didn't
site.
work out?
That was our sites.
Yeah, what they had suggested is, because we didn't know at the time if the DEP was gonna let us cover these bad areas.
Mhm.
And we said we didn't know if we could fit everybody there, but we were definitely going there, one way or another. And they said, well, if we both don't fit, can we use this end of Sunset where our old DPW facilities? And I think the mayor had said, if that's what you wanna use before, I didn't think it would be viable because the building is so old. That's why we wanna get away from it, it's not worth refurbishing. So that was why that was on the table.
Okay.
They're just looking for areas in case Cindy Lane didn't fit. But they were receptive to the plan, it fit all their buses, plus some probably, had parking for probably 20% more busing than they had. Their big concern though was not so much the parking of the buses, it was getting the buses out of there.
Yeah.
Access was fine, they were worried about getting out, because you have to come to the intersection of Cindy Lane and West Park Avenue.
Right.
And we said, we'll have to get the light fixed for the timing with the county. For in the mornings, you can have it censored that it can stay long, for as long as, you can put a whole plug of buses out, and then I said, you'd wanna turn it red again and let them queue up again and let them out. So you can probably get out of there in 2 times in the morning, with all the buses that are leaving. So they were much more receptive, but knowing that we can fit it all there, I think was their biggest concern. And the building that I showed on there was probably 50% bigger than they need. So there's plenty of room for them for the future, if they even need a bigger building.
Plus, there's an opportunity for a shared service agreement for the bus repairs. They pay a rather large amount of money for what, their agreement is with their company that does their bus repairs. Which is something that if we do have a shared service agreement between us and them, everything can be within that facility up there, and it kind of consolidates everything, gets our public works consolidated. And, it'll be one area that's,
Dedicated.
in the 21st century, let's put it that way.
Would we close any DPW facilities?
Yeah, we would close both Beecroft and Sunset.
Oh, yeah?
And we would probably also close the sign shop on Griel there. Because the building that we're proposing at Sunset for the DPW is probably double the size of the building they have now. Plus it has probably double the depth, so you can actually store and work on 2 bays deep, and it has the circulation out, everything they kind of wanted. So, and plus there's still some area left over after that for future, you know, because one of the things they said, maybe, the only thing we won't close, and I recommend not closing, is the recycling facility.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them in the middle of our yard.
Right.
And the way this is designed, we come into Cindy Lane, the whole Board of Ed is totally isolated by fencing and gates, and then it's us behind them. So nobody can get into our facility other than us, and we will go through the Board of Ed if they come under the lease, but nobody will be back in there, and that's why, because they were saying we could put the recycling back in there, but you don't want that in there.
No.
And I'm sorry, this is just from a Board of Ed perspective, it's just for their equipment or it's their office too?
No, they're gonna have,
I
well,
should say head office, their,
it's kind of funny because I had put in an extra building in because they had, it wasn't their administration building, but they had like an operations office out of there. I forget the term they used for it. So there was a 6,000 square foot building there for that. And then they had another public works garage to work on the vehicles. So both of those were accommodated in there, but yeah, they did have some kind of, I think they called their bus.
But you're wondering if
operations.
it's the Monmouth Road?
right,
Yeah.
so is there,
Would they
so the Monmouth
relocate?
Road building
Yes,
would be relocated?
yes. And wherever they park their buses, I think they parked their buses,
The high school?
yeah, so that would all be in this facility. Yep, that's pretty nice, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, because everything to the west of that is 100% wetlands.
So,
Everything to the north is wetlands, and the only thing we have is an industrial park to the southeast, and the one apartment complex to the northwest, to the northeast.
so I know we always talk about left pocket, right pocket, ultimately it's the taxpayer, whether they put it into the Board of Ed or whether they give it to the town, it's still coming out of their pocket, so at a high level or initial thoughts, how is this being funded?
Didn't get to that point yet, we just wanted to first make sure it's
Okay.
fit and we could actually use the facility per the DPW guidelines. So now we know that, so now it comes time where we have to probably start narrowing things down, whether the Board of Ed wants in. If they want out, it obviously makes it cheaper for us because we shorten everything up. We don't have to go all the way to the back of the property, that could be used in the future for all sorts of things. If they didn't want into that facility, which I think they'd be crazy because it's nicely dovetailed.
It frees up their
Yeah.
Board of Ed
Yeah.
building if they partner up with us. I mean, then they have the ability to, they
Yeah.
have property there that they can dump.
Subdivide and sell.
Huh?
They could subdivide and sell, right?
Yeah, but it has a gas station facility with the tanks.
Yeah.
Right.
All the state-of-the-art stuff will be out there. Like
Well,
the bus,
It's a
snow
good
footing.
location, it's a good
That's
spot.
Concerns,
Yeah.
that.
But yes, I guess from a funding point of view, we got the first is the
No,
cleanup
no,
portion.
Yeah.
The actual creation of the new facility will be different.
We would definitely have to time that light, because that light's it's
Yeah.
bad.
It's awful already.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's not time to get more than 2 or 3 cars through it now.
Yeah.
I think that timing of that light is really the least of the worries.
Yes.
I mean,
Ready for a
that's
couple questions?
One time,
I got
one
one more
time a
left.
day.
All right, go ahead, then
One
I
more
got a
left.
couple.
The bridge at Creamer Court, I've talked to, the soils engineer's gonna be out there next week, end of the week, beginning of the week, we are gonna have the tree clearing across there.
When you say tree clearing, so we're starting this?
I didn't know we weren't. I mean, it was all permitted and approved from the DEP's point of view.
Yeah, and if you don't move the trees by April 1st, then you can't do it till the fall.
Oh, that's right, because of
So where's
There's a
the,
restriction from DEP.
who's paying for this?
It's,
It's still coming from private funding.
yeah,
And, but it's not in our budget.
It's in the capital budget,
it's
isn't
gonna
it?
be,
And they deposit escrow, right?
yes. All the engineering work and all the preliminary work is, there's escrow fund of $40,000 already in place to pay for this.
And
The actual bridge construction will be another donation of money to pay for that.
let's,
But that's why we're bringing it here to have this discussion tonight.
okay.
So it's
This session right now, not closed? Just asking.
it's up to, I guess, Matt.
It's a policy of whether or not to go forward with it. So, open.
Well, okay, so let's start talking some details. So you're gonna start that before we have approval on the capital budget. So I get you got the clearing done, but if the capital budget doesn't get approved, you don't got the bridge done. So why clear it if that's not done?
Well, from my understanding, this won't be coming out of the capital budget.
It's gotta be listed in the
Yeah,
capital,
listed.
not so
Okay,
much.
so we need to understand this.
Okay.
Okay, let's spell it out, how's it happening?
From my understanding, somebody was donating the money to build it.
Into our budget, and the capital budget
Into
needs
our
to be
coffers.
approved to be able to spend it. Do I understand that right?
I don't know if it was going into an escrow fund or if it was going into our budget.
The money has to be spent, to spend money out of the budget, it has to be approved by the council. If you're not spending the money from our budget, it has to be just listed in the capital. I know we're using the word budget a lot, but I'll call it the capital section of the budget, which is, here's the capital projects that we do. So
So where's the opportunity for anybody to say no to this?
when you tell Greg, we don't want this done.
You mean
Because
you
it'd be-
mean when it goes in front of the planning board?
Well,
To
they
be-
did that
well,
already,
yeah,
I mean, they
yeah,
went
no,
around.
There would be two phases of this. One would be. right
And I'm
now,
not saying
the-
vote no, I just wanna make sure I
No,
understand.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, other than this opportunity right now to not clear the trees, the next thing that will be before you on for this is authorization to bid the project. And that's when you
Yeah,
could say no
That's a
also.
whole nother point,
Yeah, because everything that I put out to bid comes before you and you give me authorization to put it out to bid, advertise it and do the plan.
But to your point, why are we clearing trees if it hasn't been approved to go to bid? Right? Is that where you were getting at?
Okay, I didn't think of the bid piece, but yes, in theory, yes.
Mostly because I didn't think it was gonna have this problem of going out to bid, and we do have the time frame on the trees.
And the soil study, I thought it had a DEP permit attached to it already. What's the soil study for?
The soils is just to get the design, the footing for the bridge.
Oh, how deep you have to
Yeah,
go?
and how big it has to be, because it had, being that close to a stream, we don't know what kind of soils we're gonna hit and how far down we gotta go. That's all. it's
That
for.
could change the price of the project.
Not really, because we.
Oh,
put
it did on my house.
We put it on pile. I mean, we forecasted this would all be on pile with a pile cap anyway.
Mhm.
The only thing that could happen is we find better soils and it would just go to a pile cap at the end, a bridge abutment essentially.
So go back to thank you for that, go back to the tree issue, timing wise, what am I missing there?
Timing for the trees?
Yeah,
The DEP doesn't want us working between the month of, from May first to September first
April
because.
first.
No, it's actually May first.
Oh, I saw
And
something that said-
there's a
Yeah.
bat, I think,
The
bat.
No. it
Bat?
was- But it was also
Yeah,
sediment
you
in
know,
the,
that's why we gotta cut
An
these trees
endangered
by April
species?
1st,
It was
man.
sediment in the
Really?
stream.
Or it's it's
That's what
mating
held us
season
up,
or
that's why we
something.
couldn't,
I
that's
thought
why
it was
this was
just like
never
a
done,
bat.
because of the bat.
That was an
I don't know
acronym
if
for
it was-
something.
No,
We
the
learned
bat-
something
I don't know
every
if
Or
day.
anything, this is
Wait,
all
the bat
new.
was till October 31st, then we hit the winter, so we've got like this small little window right
That's
now.
why they're pushing this right now to get this in.
Yeah, I gotta look because that came from her. I actually.
There's something else too besides the bat, I think
I'll
they,
check the-
But you said there's
Here?
something about a
Okay,
sediment,
I'll double check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the cutout was the bat.
Bat, there's
Yeah.
possibility of bat habitat also.
well, I thought that was the original thing, why we couldn't cut until October 31st. It was like October, up till October 31st,
Up
because of the
cut
bat.
up till, yeah.
So go
Cindy
back,
Lane has the other thing going on out there, right? The bird, isn't there a bird out there too?
No, there's a possible eagle habitat,
Right.
but it's
Eagles?
not habitat, it's actually, it's
I
in
wanna
his,
see an
it's in his
eagle.
hunting ground. And they're finding eagles are so,
Yeah.
prevalent in the area now,
Right.
that they're gonna probably list them from being protected. Yeah, it's definitely changing, and especially with the osprey eagles, they're pretty taking over and we kind of have a habitat for them.
We need a conduit.
Okay.
so, I'm sorry, so go back to, the
The,
date
the
that you
tree,
just
the
compared.
tree clearing reasons that they don't want us there in the summertime is because the water levels are lower, because it doesn't rain as much during the summer months. And they didn't want us putting any sediment into the stream corridor, because if it blocks the stream, it could impact the fish life in the stream itself.
The other thing that was in there, the bats,
Yeah, that was,
long-eared bats.
yeah,
So back to the date, so what
That
date
was
are
the
you,
original.
what date are you saying?
for clearing,
Yes,
I was gonna do it in the next 2 weeks.
no,
before
what is he saying it has to be
April
done by?
1st. April 1st.
Well, that's the next
April-
2 weeks.
It's
2 weeks.
between
Or 2
April
weeks.
1st and September 30th to protect the northern long-eared bat.
One
And if we
bat.
lose that window, it's
Yeah,
dead in
right,
the water
that's-
until
it
the
said
fall?
bat,
Yes.
B-A-T.
Well, and then you had to wait until September, after
Yeah,
September.
end of, after.
No, you gotta
September.
wait October.
October,
Yeah.
after September.
Yeah.
Not that it's, I mean, it's just
And-
time, in
and-
my opinion, there's,
and-
from me, my point of view, there's not a lot of difference other than timing, I think.
Yeah, it's not the township, it is the folks want it open by the summer.
Sure.
So the only way to do that, we gotta clear trees now,
Get it
because if we
open for
clear
the
trees in
holiday.
October, it won't be
So
open.
how were
this
we
summer.
planning on doing that when the original plan was to have it approved by us on the capital budget? when did that change and why did it
like
change?
2 days ago. Just got a call from a person who is sponsoring and donating and said, love to have this open by the summertime.
But
So I
again,
said, we gotta run it by you guys. That's why we're here tonight.
but that changed not only the timing, it changed the whole process?
Sped it up.
No, it didn't change the whole process.
Well, the original plan respectfully was that
A
we were gonna have
capital
approval by the council on the capital budget.
Correct.
So that's not happening.
So, yes, that still has to happen. And you still have to approve it. What I need to know now, if you wanna move forward or not, because then I have to figure out the financing of this whole thing. I didn't even do that yet until I get a green light from this body.
That you wanna do the project.
Because the money's in escrow, then I have to go talk to the CFO to figure out how do we pay for these trees, and then we can pay that fund back once everything else clears.
Because the escrow is only covering the engineering work?
I
think
I
it's-
could probably technically use the true move into that money, cause I had plenty left.
Okay.
But that's about the only thing, cause I could say that had to be done, and it does have to be done to get the soil boring machine in. So, technically, they could be removed for that purpose, and we could pay for it out of the escrow fund.
But it still
And
needs to
even
be
that has
listed in the
that has to be
budget.
voted on too. At a later date, once we find out all the finance, a resolution has to go on and everything. And that will probably be on the next meeting.
And that resolution would include what?
It would have to include whatever the cost of the tree removal.
Authorization
Yeah,
to bid.
you can't just have people
Yeah.
out there working without your approval.
So, okay, so speaking of other approvals, the maintenance agreement, is that drafted?
I haven't seen it yet.
Is design done?
No, we're in the beginning stage, it's not gonna take long, because I need soil borings, and then the structural work, and then it's done. The concept plan and the details are done for the bridge itself, it just might change a little bit where the bridge supports are.
I
That's
missed that, I'm sorry.
where the bridge supports are, at the bridge abutments at the edges of the stream. That's what has to be designed, because we've designed it for the piles for the entire length of the bridge. And I know those are fine when they're out of the floodplain, the floodway, but those ones that are right up adjacent to the floodway have to be designed. Once those are designed, we'll tweak the design of the bridge a little bit, not a lot, and then we can put it out to bid. So, once I have those two pieces of information, which will take about a month. So maybe personally, I don't know that we can't get this construction done by April 1st. It's impossible. I would probably put the bid out probably sometime, by the time I get all the work done, design done, it would probably be sometime in May. And we could put it out to bid for construction in September.
But the tree issue is the only thing that's time sensitive. That
Yeah.
has to be done in 2 weeks or not at all until the fall, right? The construction doesn't interrupt anything, just the tree
Yeah,
removal.
and to be honest with you, I think if.
Because you can't start until you're clear.
Yeah. Since we can't really get this out to bid before April 1st and construct it before April 1st, I don't know why there's any reason we probably can't put the trees off until the end of September without the bridge going in either.
Yeah, we just gotta go back and tell them they're not gonna have the bridge open by June.
Yeah, that way it takes all the timing concerns that you have out about getting it in the
Well, I'm not,
budget.
I-
I
I'm
agree
not
with you
concerned
because
about them,
I
other
am.
than I'd like to have the answers to the questions
I
that I
am,
was gonna
because
ask
that was-
anyway.
That was my biggest problem when I started this. It was kinda, let's say the donator was kinda like, go do this.
Right.
And I said, I have no funding source to go do this. So that was kinda being done by their attorney and Matt to try to figure that out. And then in the meantime, because they're pushing, I said, why don't you just fund the escrow fund that we did for the design to get the permit? That'll still be under the design to do the bridge and get all the rest of the stuff
Right.
done. So that took quite a while to get through that. So I think this is just, there's still have the questions. I can't put this out to bid until the funding source is worked out in the budget, because I can't put something out to bid that there's not funding available to support the project that I'm bidding.
Right.
Is it in here right now?
What's that?
This is our budget, isn't it?
No, that's just.
That's
a-
right.
Oh, the bills,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I think, to be honest with you, I think from a logistical point of view, it may be better off just working these things out over the next couple of months, do the design and put this out to bid and construct it after September 30th.
Well, since we're on the topic, can I ask some other if I'm comfortable, I'm okay saying yes, but I still got
But-
questions.
yeah, but
Or
I'll-
you're saying no matter what I ask, it's still,
No, I'm saying from the timing of.
Are you
the
saying
budget
that they
meeting.
can't get this constructed at all?
Not before April 1st.
Not April,
Does
I'm
it
not,
need to be
right, that
before
wasn't
April
even,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
wasn't
I know
even-
that's not
right.
even in the
What is it,
cards.
20th?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is because I can't do the
But if we
construction.
take
It's only
these
giving
trees
9
down
days for
before April
trees,
1st,
right.
we can do construction after we, why?
That's really it.
No, well, I'm saying
When
there's,
I talked
because
to Ricky,
there's
he
only
said
6 little
including
trees I gotta take down.
Capital.
So
No,
I
no,
can
I'm
take
saying
them
that
down.
is, once we get this funding source done, I mean, which, we're gonna have our budget completed by then,
You can
why,
add in-
Why is it
can't-
Somewhat
April
lighter
or
date.
September? Why
The
can't it
DEP
be
won't let me go
June?
in there.
You,
I can't, I have a restriction.
They
on
won't let you go in
So,
when?
but it still has to be listed.
After when?
April
Listed.
1st.
You know.
through
Oh, it's not only
September
the
30th.
trees, it's construction too.
construction can't.
Oh,
Oh, that's different. You didn't say that.
I thought it was just the
I
trees.
thought it was just the
That was
trees.
that-
Right.
No, that's, sorry. I-
So you're saying the DEP won't let us in there either?
Yeah.
Why is
Oh,
that?
all right.
Because of the bats.
Because of the fish and the bats.
But if the tree's down, what does the construction have to do with the bat?
Greg, be careful with that because Jen is saying that if construction can continue faster.
Yeah, but
So
that-
we all
I'm
need
not-
to get on the same
yeah.
page with that.
But I have the sediment problem that they
Oh,
said we can't.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'm pretty sure that we would be best off
That's
waiting
different.
and
Okay,
going
makes
through,
more
get all of
sense.
our design.
But if we
everything.
don't, I mean, if we take the trees down, at least everything can get done. I mean, if we can't go in that corridor, I get it, but we should at least get done what we can before April 1st.
And then, like I said, it's 6 trees, and my guess is they're about 6 inches or less. They're not really
Small
great
ones.
specimen trees. They're all in a tight-knit little group right where we're going through. We only have to clear like a 15-foot path to get this
Right.
7-foot, 8-foot, 6-foot wide bridge through with some attachments. So, but it's not gonna be a big deal to remove. And we're not gonna take the stump out. We're just gonna cut the tree down. Least disturbance possible.
Yeah, so bottom line, they were looking to have it constructed sometime in June, but if that can't happen,
Yeah, I gotta recheck that thing with
Then-
the sediment.
yeah, let's recheck that because then there's no.
And there
rush.
is money in the escrow to possibly cover this tree removal,
Absolutely.
regardless of, I mean, it might be spent money that
Said
doesn't get
6 trees,
approved
right?
for the full project, but
Yeah, no, there's enough money in the escrow for the full design of everything, and it's probably gonna probably be about $30,000, we got 40 in there. So we got-
including the tree removal.
Yeah, no, the design will be 30, the tree removal, there'll be an extra $10,000 in there, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna say that's part of the design.
Right.
And pull it and pay it through there, I'll just pay it through, for my office, through
What do you estimate the tree removal to be?
$500 to $1,000. Because they're just taking these, they're gonna drop them and pull them up to a grinder and grind them up and drive away with them. They're not that big. I've already met the tree guys out there and they looked at it, it's not a problem. I know I have a couple estimates, I just didn't get a chance to look at it.
Silly question. Do we need to get a permit for that?
No.
Cut the trees down? Because it
No.
does. No, I'm serious. I'm being
No,
serious. That
there
wasn't a
there
joke.
was one line I had put in that tree,
Yeah,
and it says,
weird.
all capital projects are exempt from tree
Okay.
permit.
I
For
didn't know.
exactly this reason.
Okay, very good. You
We don't
saw it
wanna pay
coming.
ourselves $5,000 to take down trees.
Right. So let me ask the other questions while we're on the topic.
Well, we
So,
can take money out of the shade tree commission and go plant them.
Yeah.
well,
plan
that's
to.
why, that's what was gonna be my next
Yeah,
question.
And that's probably what we'll do if it's appropriate. I
Yeah.
haven't been out there, so.
Yeah, I don't think we need it, but we do have this is gonna be, just so you know, this is right adjacent, it's right, we have a piece of property that we bought in Blue Acres, there's 2 properties there. This goes right down that property line where we own the open, and it's totally open.
I've been there.
So, this'll be, it's kinda gonna be a nice, it'll stand out. I was worried, kinda, if there was a lot of trees that were going through it, you wouldn't really stand out that much, but it'll be pretty visible so people will know where it's at.
So back to the maintenance conversation. So where are we with who maintains it, when's it maintained, how's it maintained, who's doing all that?
They've agreed to take care of it,
Right.
but there hasn't been.
Yeah, they
any
haven't
agreement.
presented us with that maintenance agreement yet.
Okay.
I wrote that down. I'm gonna
Right.
ask the lawyer about that and say, where's the maintenance agreement?
Is part of the design lights?
Yes.
Had a conversation with both sides
Just
of,
so you know, they're only gonna be solar lights, I'm not running electricity through there. So there'll be solar lights lit up, because it's really gonna be closed at dusk, technically.
which brings up the next question. Access to it. And when you say closed, how is it gonna be closed?
I don't know, we haven't figured that out yet.
So I talked to both sides over the last 2 days,
Mhm.
and they're both willing to put gates up.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
our property.
what's the next question on that?
You just said yes, why would I ask the
It's
next
loaded.
question? You just said yes, why am I gonna ask the next question? So how do we
It's
open
his
and close?
training, he knows better.
No, I already had this conversation with him, he doesn't tell. How do we open and close the gates? And who opens and closes the gates?
I mean,
That's
typically,
fine. And when do
you
these
reach
gates-
forward, usually unlatch and pull.
My recommendation, put it in a maintenance agreement and
They
put it
meet
on
there.
them, because otherwise then we have to have public works, we have to go there every day. And
Well,
I've had-
no, it would only be open,
Or whatever days, and it might be open on a day public works are not working.
Exactly.
Like Saturday.
right, Friday night,
Yeah,
Saturday,
you gotta-
right.
You have a
The-
Sabbath thing, and I don't know.
Both communities, if I can use that term, were
Private.
fine with having a
Yeah,
gate
they can.
and only having it open
Responsible private.
Friday to Saturday, open Friday to Saturday.
And closing it.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I haven't been,
That's your call.
You could use it any day of the week. Why does it have to be Friday or Saturday? You want to restrict it to just one, 1 day a week, 1.5 days?
So then the question would be, yes, both sides said that,
No, that's not true.
that,
I talked to one of the parties today.
I did too.
It's the bridge is the bridge. It's going to be used. Whether it's dawn to dusk is fine, but you're not going to restrict it to a Friday night bridge only.
So then the question is,
Yeah.
who's gonna as part of that,
Well-
hold on, so kids riding bikes through there, kids and others using it for the
Yeah.
reason, well, that wasn't what they were looking for, either side.
Well, they may not be looking for it, but
It's a pedestrian bridge, we could probably restrict bicycles.
yes, and plus, I mean, not that you couldn't ride a bike across this, and most kids could probably easily do it, but it's only 6 foot wide. So it's not really conducive for, technically
This is
bike ride.
smaller than 6 and I can get a bike through.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying,
Right.
kids would do it, but I mean, most people going out for a bike ride aren't gonna say, hey, let's go across the bridge. Kids will definitely do it, but adults won't.
So, I hear you, but I talked to the donor.
yeah, I think that doesn't make any sense to have a Friday night bridge. It makes no sense. You have the
So
bridge.
then if
you
it's
can
not
use
a
it.
Friday night bridge, then.
Use it any day of the week. What if I want to walk across that bridge? You know? Want to cut over to Oakhurst?
What's that?
I mean, technically, it's a pedestrian public bridge.
Which raised, when the
Yeah.
gate question came up and I threw it out to the other side, they said, sure, great idea.
That's the first I've heard of that.
I know,
gate.
just happened.
I'm sure
yes-
they didn't say gate it and only open it on Friday
No,
nights.
they did. They said it.
No.
Only open on Friday nights?
Or have a combination
And
to be
Saturdays.
able to, and
A
Saturdays.
combination.
The whole point
What's
is
I
to
don't think
cut
we-
from one
we
side to
could've
the
done
other, and you should be able to use that bridge at any day of the week.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that the DEP would not allow
I
that.
was gonna say, cause we're having some
Yeah.
challenges
Allow-
with some of the other
Yeah.
places.
Allow what?
Because
Remember the golf course, the guy wanted to access it 24/7, like, you can't do that.
Yeah. No, it's because we proposed this as a pedestrian access bridge.
Right.
We didn't say it was going to be limited to 1 day a week.
Who proposed it to whom?
The DEP. That was
The
part of the
permitting.
main reason for the permit, because generally
So
there
then
has
if
to be a
it's-
solid reason for you to cross a wetland area.
Right.
And the wetland, the reason was one for safety for going around, but for pedestrians to do that. So to isolate that and say you can only use it 1 day a week, I don't know that they would agree to that.
Okay.
If we would have told them we were only gonna use 1.5 days. And I'm not positive, I'm pretty sure, because was part of the selling point, this is for the public, not just for 2 days. That really wouldn't be the public.
Again, I'm sharing what was shared with me.
I know, that's, like I said, it's the first I'm hearing about closing it off. I mean, I always thought it was never intended. It was
So
gonna
then
be
let me
7
ask it
days
a
week.
different way. If we put a gate in there and use Matt's example, just hold on, and not lock it, but just use it so that it able to get opened.
That you could probably sell just as a safety issue. You
Right.
want to make sure somebody knows they're going across a bridge and you have it gated, but it's accessible. You just lift up, like open the door now essentially. Hey, this is a bridge crossing, just so you know, this is going to the other street over there. That, I don't know that it would be.
Well,
I also think you're going to have some problems with dawn to dusk, by the way. Dawn I have no problem with, but the dusk is going to be interesting because,
When is it? Right.
you want to spend time with your family, you look up, it's 9 o'clock. Oh man, do I have to take the long way around or can I take the bridge? I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about that, 8, 7 to 10. And you might find, especially during the holidays, you may want to spend more time with your family and walk home. So I don't think this is going to have to be a rigid thing. You're going to have to find some flexibility in this.
it's kind of like dawn to dusk for any park though. I mean, you have the gate that goes down, but not the gate, I guess, kind of thing.
Coming from my attorney.
I'm just saying, that happens. I'm
Not that
talking
he's ever done
realistically,
that.
it happens.
Theoretically.
What we're
It
allowing
happens.
for safety reasons.
What you can say is dawn till dusk, but
Yeah.
if, you know, they're gonna go visit it, they're, unless we are going to padlock it.
Yeah.
Or
I think it's gotta be used by the community, 7 days a week, dawn to dusk, and then you can figure out whatever flexibility you need. That's
I agree
to
with
me.
Dave on on the Friday night thing. I mean, especially when you get into the winter. I mean, it gets,
Dusk
you know.
is at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, even-
It's
even-
dark
yeah.
early, you mean?
yeah.
Before
I mean,
daylight
that's
savings
the
time.
problem, and you're right. It's gonna run later and
So I
get
wonder about
darker and-
electricity
But
there.
that doesn't change, they still need to do what they need to do, whether they were using the bridge or not.
yeah. Like, let's get the trees down at least.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't mean it that way, I'm saying that they still need to plan
I'm not
for
adverse to that,
dusk
actually.
Still
regardless.
can't believe we
Taking
can't
trees down.
do
Yeah.
any construction. It just
It
makes
gives it
no
up.
sense.
It releases.
I mean, it's
us-
paid for already.
Well, I think one last question.
But you're gonna find out for sure if you can't do any work after
Oh,
April 1st.
Yeah, but if we take the trees down, that opens that possibility if that's not a restriction.
Right.
But yeah, I will let you know that, certainly by next, I'll let Dave know.
It is-
I'll look at tomorrow.
This is the conversation we gotta have tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like a quick one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's April 1st is tomorrow.
Might as well be.
The only thing that I would recommend here is that whoever the objectors are, if they would like to be part of the planning process in some capacity to maybe say, hey, can we put a little buffer in, can we put a little shrubbery in, something like that, so that they may feel part of this whole thing, so we can alleviate some of these concerns. I have no issue with that. But other than that, I think the bridge is a great idea, and I'd rather move forward with it.
I think the challenge is that they haven't had a voice, because it didn't go to the planning board. They didn't get an opportunity to
Well, it did
review
when
any
it wasn't
plans, they
noticed.
didn't get an opportunity
I was there.
to testimony or anything, so that's also part of the
Yeah.
objection. And listen, I mean, I've been here 9 years, I think we determined that we had 2 capital projects in 9 years, where we ran the project. So, this is the exception to the rule, and just trying to be fair to both sides. Let them have their say, I know.
They can submit to me anytime, whenever they wanna see
Recommendations?
there, yeah.
Yeah.
Please, by all means. Just send me an email.
I mean, you could put up some nice little shrubbery, direct people into,
Oh, I know, I had one other question, I'm sorry, the easement question. So,
Both ends of it, just so you know, when you talk about landscaping and all, both ends of this are a trail. The bridge is only in the middle, in the
Right.
trees, so you're not
Correct.
gonna see it anyway. It's
Correct.
I think
amongst
the
trees.
concern was walking on private property
Right,
when they
which-
cross the bridge.
right, which begs the easement question,
Well,
or variance.
they're gonna actually walk on the one person who
Well,
is,
the
yeah,
property.
that's his
Don't-
property.
They've granted an easement, this is all
Yeah.
in an easement
Right.
for this.
Okay, so that's what I was asking, so that did happen.
And the
He-
other
he
side,
wasn't,
you're
when I
worried
talked to him
about.
today, he wasn't 100%
No,
sure.
that was a requirement of the DEP, the easement had to be perfected and in place and signed off by the property owner before they gave us approval.
And that's on both sides?
Yep,
Well, the easement's only granted on one side.
It's only on the one side.
because we
By
have to-
one party, I
Property.
think. Oh, you meant.
Private property. so.
Yeah,
So Brookside,
Well, Kramer Courtside, we hit the public right away,
Fuck.
which is us. It's the end of the cul-de-sac. There's a little piece there that they've given us the little easement that we need.
so
That's-
who's we, who's they? The
The guy who-
property owner on 5 Kramer?
Yes.
Okay, and what about Brookside?
Brookside,
Is our
we've
property
got an
already, I
easement
think.
the whole width of that property to the, for
From?
this project. From the property owner.
So it was both sides?
Mhm.
Okay.
I would meant that only one side gives the easement.
Oh.
One party,
One
one
party.
party.
Got it, I see what you're saying, okay, got it. All right,
That was all. I
I'm
had.
good, that's all you're not done yet, that's the
Oh.
C's question.
Oh, man.
I saved my best one
Can
for
I go
last.
first, because I have two
Yeah.
quick questions?
Go ahead.
When is the Deal Road paving gonna begin, if you have an estimated date?
That is probably not gonna happen until June.
Okay.
Mostly because I'm gonna hold that off because it's a nighttime paved job and we need to get the nighttime temperatures up. And right now, they're still in the low 40s.
All right.
So by June, they'll be probably in the mid-50s, which is perfect for paving.
Any thought of paving Cindy Lane as I smash through the potholes every day?
Well, if this is gonna go as fast as we hope it goes, we're gonna probably just do some patchwork, like we'll pave sections of that road to
Mhm.
get us through, because this will probably all be repaved when we get that facility going.
Because I've actually heard from the bus drivers who literally hate driving down Cindy Lane, so.
No, that's one of the things I'm starting to target, is we started a couple years ago. Certain roads I'm doing pieces of them just to give us we did that on Roselle. Remember, we were doing pieces of Roselle to buy us time because the majority of the road is in good shape.
Yeah.
So 20% is bad, so I was doing like 5% a year, and it's a pretty long road. I'll do the same thing on City Line, I'm gonna do the bad pieces,
Yeah.
just to buy some more time, so I don't have to pay the whole road.
Because apparently it's a wild ride on a bus.
Yeah, it's not pretty, the north-south piece, as you go the other way, is not too bad.
Yeah, as you go to the diner, it's.
Yeah, that's right.
Can I ask a related question? The one question that I've gotten since joining the council is, when is my street getting paved? Is there like a general list that I can point them to, so I stop getting that question from people?
There is, but I've kind of talked, this came out about 7 or 8 years ago. And one of the things that I'll gladly give you the list.
This
but
list
I really,
is like the Coca-Cola recipe.
Oh, really?
Nobody
It's
has
not
it.
public?
Yeah,
Okay.
the reason
nobody
I
should
don't
have
want
it.
you to publish
No,
it.
I don't
is
even
because
need it. I'm just curious if.
There is a list, we review the roads every year to reanalyze them, to restack them, because you never know.
Oh, you
what it is.
read,
We
okay,
readjust
based
them.
on how
We re-rate them.
poorly.
Yeah, because some roads don't stand up as well in
Right.
the winter time. But the reason I don't really want you to publish it to the public.
I don't
is
even
because-
need it.
Because it changes.
It
No,
changes.
You
may
have
not.
no
Also-
flexibility, the council would have no flexibility.
To change it.
Like say, we
Oh,
know
you
a
said
project's
on
coming up and. we're
August
gonna-
2024, my
Yeah,
street is getting.
They want it that day.
But what happens is there's no timing on my list, but what happens is it ranks it from 0 to 100. And we do all the roads from the low to the high. And once in a while, when I have to put roads together because the budget is such and we have long roads, I have to take a couple roads that may be down in the 30s to piece the puzzle together, because I don't wanna not use the money that we have. And it gets, then those small roads get done. So if you give that list out to people, somebody's gonna say, how come you're doing a road in the 30s when mine's in the 20s and you did that road?
Just curious what the process
It opens you up
is.
for a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So-
But this way you can say your road is listed and it's coming up, or it's like down in the 50s, it's not gonna be for 10 years.
Can you send it?
Again?
I don't have the
Again?
list. I don't have,
Come
the
on,
last one I
Rob.
had is 2 years ago.
Oh,
Well, how much could it have changed in 2 years?
I'll send you the 23 one. We didn't do the 24 yet, but
Okay.
it's in progress.
Because I was gonna ask you where Brookside is on the list, so.
Brookside actually is very high, very low on the list, like high rated for paving, it
Right.
has a low number.
Right.
I've been holding off on it because of the dredging project. But this year it's gonna be in the 24 project, I can't hold off anymore,
cool.
we're gonna lose the base.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the 24 program. It's in bad shape.
We know that. Brookside.
There's a couple other ones out there in pretty bad shape too, which are getting done.
That was
I
cool.
interrupted you.
No,
Didn't get to your
please.
second question.
No, I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
My questions are answered.
Toll Brothers, Enclave. How we looking?
From what point of view?
Bonds, closing the bonds.
They're trying to get off, we're not letting them yet.
Good.
The
Okay.
reason being is, we're going, we went through our final punch list and we gave them that a while back. And it wasn't a final, it was a punch list.
Right.
They were working on, one of the problems we have is the curbing in
Right.
there is broken up in front of the driveways. They're trying to use a patch to fix that and we're not allowing it. We're having another meeting with them, I think, either tomorrow or Monday, I forget what day they think. But we're gonna go out there and talk to them again. One of the problems I have is they've kind of had their own private meeting with the association and them kind of made certain deals. I don't know what it is, but they're all of a sudden, we're okay with the curb. Cause they're gonna get, I'm just suggesting, all of a sudden the curbing isn't as important to them, but it is to me. But, so that's a sticking point, they're not getting off their bond until I'm happy with the curbing. And then we got some other things, we gotta also have a meeting next week, I think it's next Friday, I have with Jim Higgins and myself to go over all the trees, the landscaping and all, has
Good.
not been all finalized in there at all.
Okay.
It's somewhat of a problem because planning board approved a tree per lot, and a lot of lots in there are pie-shaped, they're narrow at the front, wide in the back. The problem is when you do that, you can't fit a tree because you got all the utilities that go through there plus a driveway. There's no room for a tree. So a lot of the trees on the front of these houses were either moved back if they were fanned out
Right.
fast, or they were moved to a different part on the property. That's what we have to go and make sure the count is right and those trees survived and they're there.
And one of the tree issues was around the, I don't know, is it a retention basin or what?
Both of them, yeah. Some
Okay.
of the pines are dying,
Right.
dead. They've been replaced a couple times, but those
Okay.
will have to be, those are all part of it too.
And the retention basins have been blessed, they're good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually been checking them. We had a couple very serious rains and they work fine now. They've changed them from infiltration to detention.
That was the word. I
So
couldn't-
there's no reason they shouldn't work unless the outlet's blocked.
Okay,
So they're working fine.
okay, cool, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing from me.
Nothing from you, okay? I'm good.
Run.
All
Run.
right.
I'm still scrolling.
See you guys.
Gotta keep the meeting going.
Run.
Get out while the getting's good.
Yeah.
More township
Anybody have
business.
anything else?
I got one quick one.
You got a quick one out, and then we gotta go in. 'cause
I mean, this will be real quick, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I have one quick one too.
Got a quick housekeeping issue with Chapter 5 licenses. If you noticed, in 5.2 license required, in the first paragraph, it states tax department. That is wrong. It should be community development, and I'm going to request a real quick introduction and adoption at the next meeting and then the following meeting. That's it.
That was easy.
Who picked that up?
Susie, 'cause she doesn't.
Tax department.
Why are you
That's not our
calling me?
job.
They've been doing it from the beginning of
Yeah,
time.
but that's, yeah, but
Oh, my little doggy
yeah.
and her license.
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay,
See?
quick one. Nice. You had one. thing.
Housekeeping on the ordinance to change the, or eliminate the,
Flags and everything.
no, that one's good. I'm sorry. The, no, we're getting rid of the, Human Services
We
Council.
did that. That's on tonight.
Yeah,
Right.
it's on tonight.
No, I got you. So, we're eliminating it, but the discussions that were had, and I just wanna put it on record, that we are gonna replace it with something
I
not ordinance
suggested
related.
doing the, to get it up and running, the mayor's wellness committee and add in, throw in with the wellness committee to do some sort of drug and alcohol awareness, suicide prevention, things of that, so that we can.
Right, no, I know that. I
Way
think-
more. I sent Dave an email. I might have blind copied you guys as well with what I suggested to David to move forward. I have to call. You have to get me the number for.
You got it.
Okay, you
It's in
sent
your
it to
email.
me,
Yep.
and I'll call her. I already spoke to Rich Long
That's,
also.
he's the one that's
Yeah.
asking me to make sure that that's happening,
Yeah,
because he
called
was.
me too. I reassured.
But
him
that
yesterday.
committee
I did
needs,
too, but
that-
I wanted to-
That committee needs to be totally revamped.
Right.
So that we have it, so we're.
But it's a committee outside of the ordinance now, so it's,
Well, it all has to be established. I think.
Yeah, we have to
I
establish the
don't know if
mayor's
it's by
wellness committee.
I don't know if it's be an ordinance or resolution, but.
right. No,
I
right.
can check, I'll ask John how they set theirs up in Asbury Park, because
There
he's
you
got
go.
a whole committee, they
Yeah.
run his events once a month, they have
I'm good.
different things, and then various things throughout, in between and
We're gonna
whatnot.
have the mayor's cooking show too.
Mayor's cooking show, I like it.
No,
Yeah,
I had set it up for him
That's
about
right.
a year
We're
ago.
set. We
He
can
didn't
do it.
pursue it yet.
we can go do it.
Teach us how to make the Lindy
I'll make
salad.
some shrimp scampi and some Lindy salad.
On the local.
Can do that.
Gotta be healthy cooking.
I have
Am I
some
gonna cook
questions. Are
with
you done?
Talarico?
I have
I'd
some
love to
questions.
sit cook with him.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh,
I can
I'll
make
bring,
that happen.
I'll bring Billy with me.
the resolution that we're hearing today about
Which one?
the outdoor advertising bid,
Yes.
that is not an increase, correct?
What do you mean by?
An increase in the number of them.
Oh, no, it's the one, we only own one.
Okay,
And we're going out to bid, and hopefully,
it's
when
the
you
same
say, when you say increase, I'm thinking increase in money, revenue.
no, I was
But
thinking
that's
about the
what
number
I'm-
of,
Number of.
Yeah,
Of.
no, we only own the one in town on
Okay.
35.
and the cellular
Or two.
antenna,
Jesse's saying two.
the
same
cellular
area,
antenna
right?
is existing?
Excuse me?
The other
Yes, that's
part of that,
existing.
it's already an
Yep,
existing
All
location?
the contracts are expiring, so we gotta go back out.
Cannabis go out for bid, retail?
Yep, we have it in, we're all doing our reviews now,
Okay.
and the goal is to come to March 28th with some sort of report, recommendation, discussion, however that flows.
On the receipt of the bids?
Yeah, and see where we're at. And
I know we had a complaint about the motel over by, the Falcos. Has anything been done about that?
Let's talk to Tracy.
Okay.
Code department and see what they do, and it'll all be in Jungle Laser, so.
There is,
We've been following up on all of the hotels, so.
I was there
I'm
last night, the
Positive that
fencing,
something.
there's new fencing,
Oh, okay,
not up, kind of.
but ready?
You mean to block the 6,000 bins that are outside in the back there of that motel?
Yes, but you can't see them, well, you might still
Storage
be able to
bins?
see it, but the fencing, it looks new and it's getting there.
Okay.
Those are cool.
I
Thank
might,
you for-
I'll ask the next one in closed.
Okay.
Was there something, Wanamassa EMT, were they coming in for a request? A budget request for an increase to the facility?
No,
They
no.
voted, they had a
approved?
referendum, they voted on it.
They already voted on it. Tom.
Well, the,
Yeah, that's separate and apart from us.
The district.
District.
People voted.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. That was it for
And they
me.
voted in favor.
yeah,
So I
all 40 people that voted in that election.
And we're not concerned about that, with what
Well,
happened
there's
to
nothing we
Oprah's
can do about it.
EMT?
You mean 40 people voting?
That's an issue
That's
for
how-
one.
yeah.
Is it really 40?
It was about 40.
Well, there's,
That's
there's
unheard
way more in the district, but only 40.
That's
So-
ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, it's half the town.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That'd be 10,000 people. So 40, that's not bad.
$6 million referendum, 40
Wow.
people voted.
Unfortunately, it's indicative of our voting in general, period.
Jeez.
I mean, look, our election was 22%. That
Yeah.
one there, I mean.
Yeah.
But if you put that referendum on in November
Yeah,
or May with
that's-
us,
Well, yeah.
that would have been a different story.
Yeah.
Might be 50 people.
If they could have found it down at the bottom right.
That's all I
Any
have.
other questions so we can
Okay.
go in, motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
roll call, or all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I want to remind everybody that our Township Council meetings will be audio and videotaped, and they'll be shown on the Township of Ocean's Community Cable Channel, Channel 22 on Verizon Fios, and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher?
Here.
Councilmember Achara?
Here.
Kaplan?
Here.
Terry?
Here.
Can we stand for a pledge of allegiance and remain standing for a silent prayer as we honor former police officer Matt Sharon, who passed away suddenly this past week. Very, very sad news for the township. Just wanted to get that out there. Let everybody know that the moment of silence after the pledge of allegiance will be in honor of Matt. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. You may be seated. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 14, 2023. There are two emergency exits to my left that'll take you to the front of the door, to the front of the building, and another one to my left that'll take you to the rear parking lot. Please make sure that all cell phones are turned off, and if you need to make a call, kindly step outside to make that call. Before we get started on the before we get to our proclamation, which is the County Commissioner Director Tom Arnone and Monmouth County Clerk Christine Anlin, we will have council comments first. As he strolls in, Mr. Monmouth. Let's start down with Deputy Mayor Fisher at the end.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple things I want to announce. I want to congratulate, we've had a couple wonderful sports seasons here in Ocean Township, so I want to congratulate the girls' basketball team. I believe this is one of the first times in a really long time they've had a winning season, so I want to congratulate them. I believe the girls' bowling team won the state championship. We've had 4 wrestlers go to the regions. The esports team came home with a victory, and I think it's a wonderful testament to the children of Ocean Township, and we're always out there supporting you, and good job. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Terry.
I just have one for the group. There's an extreme blood shortage in the state of New Jersey, so there'll be a blood drive on Saturday at the West Park Rec Center from 9:30 to 2:30. Walk-ins are welcome.
Thank you. Councilwoman Kaplan.
With the warm weather, I'll just say I'm looking forward to Little League season, which is starting in a few weeks with practices this week. I encourage everyone to come out and see our boys and girls play.
Thank you. Councilman Achara.
Deal Lake cleanup is this weekend, 9 o'clock. You can meet over at Asbury Park, the Asbury Park, Main Street and boat ramp, yes. 9 o'clock Saturday.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anything else? No?
No
Dave.
report, Mayor.
Matt? Nada. A couple things. First of all, I want to let everybody know that on Thursday, March 28th, we're going to have Ask the Tax Collector between 1 and 2 p.m. at the West Park Recreation Center. This is a great idea Basically doing it for the seniors that want to have clarity on the property tax programs, wondering about the anchor program. So we've done this in the past, and we're looking forward to having this again as a service out to our community members. I would like to thank, and I've been thanking our sponsors that have been coming in for the municipality. Right now, we have our county clerk who's here right now, who did a sponsorship of $500, Disc Golf, the Italian American Association as well. We have Wegmans, Marty Arbus, Paramount Realty, and Portside. We're really appreciative of all the sponsors. Ty, I didn't get yours yet. I don't have the list here yet. Well, you know what? When it comes, Mr. Director will announce you as well. I just want to let everybody know that the Commissioner Director just promised a sponsorship, and I believe he wants the top Hanlon, so let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. Everybody heard that. We have our St. Patrick's Day celebration tomorrow night. We'll be honoring former Deputy Mayor Margie Donlin, who's now a Assemblywoman. That will be at English Manor tomorrow evening. We have a great crowd coming. Should be an excellent evening, so we're looking forward to that. Now, I'd like to turn this meeting over to our Commissioner Director, Tom Arnone, and our County Clerk, Christine Hanlon, who will be here to discuss the 250th anniversary of this country that we live in. And as we, kick it off this year with Ocean Township's 175th anniversary, which, we have events planned throughout the year. We're very excited. I was glad that I was able to get out there over the summer to see you guys actually kick this off and do this way in advance, which is awesome. So we're looking forward to the activities and what you are going to, push out here, and what we can do as a municipality in Ocean Township, being one of the older ones in this, great county that we live in. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
Okay, great. Thank you for having us.
And thank you for coming in.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm not sure, do we need to be here? Okay.
No, actually, you may want to just take it out and hold it. If you're going to move around. I'm just thinking.
Is it recording? Or
Yes, yeah.
Right there. You like to be on camera, Tom. It's over there, so if you want to face that.
Camera on that?
Over there.
There's two. There's one back there. Oh, it's going to be on that screen, probably. Probably. Probably.
It's been a long day.
And Tom's telling you what to do?
Yeah, I know. So thank you for having us tonight. We are really excited to be launching this initiative throughout the county. We have been going from municipality to municipality to talk about some of the things that we're working on relating, I'm going to say it now because Tom was going to pass it over to me, America's Semi-Quincentennial.
Yes, that's right.
More commonly
And she
known
said it
as,
right.
yeah, more commonly known as America 250. So we've been going around, we've been working on our plans, we've been creating promotional materials. So we're going to be going through our PowerPoint to talk about what we're working on, and just want to turn it over to Tom before we
Sure.
get
So,
to the presentation.
and yes, we've been, like last night, we held an event at Hominy Hill where we had the historical bunch of, a packed house actually. It was amazing how many people turned out, and we did the presentation to there. Then we've been going to a lot of our towns, and a lot of our bigger towns we've been hitting individually, like this. And then what we're going to do is bring in the groups of smaller municipalities, and which you're invited to too. And I want to thank the mayor and the administrator for coming to our State of the County this past week, which gave a lot of information at that period of time too. But this is something that's going to be really special, and the reason it's going to be special is because it's the incorporation of all 53 municipalities, and that's what we're trying to do. And Ocean Township being obviously close to the heart of obviously Christine and myself here. I know you guys do things a little special, and you do things, and it's. So I'm really counting, Christine's really counting,
Putting the pressure on.
and that you guys really
No pressure. We got Jan and Mike.
continue exactly. And I know that.
You guys heard that, right?
That we're going to be doing these special things that we're going to incorporate through the whole county. So every time one of these municipalities, particularly yours, has an event that's going on, it's going to be showcased throughout the whole county. And we're going to do that through all 53 towns. And we're the only county that is this far ahead. of this. And, you know, I guess people are saying, oh, wow, you must be like the partying county, and we are. And that's pretty cool in itself. So, and what we plan on is, like, from the day we start this and kick this off, which we have actually, to the day the completion, okay, it's just going to be like a party fest throughout this whole thing with many different events, which you'll see shortly. But we kicked it off with a video that Ted
Start with our
wants to
promo
kick off, and then
video.
we'll introduce Ted and go through that whole process there on what the county has already started.
The 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America is coming in 2026. America's semi-quincentennial will be celebrated all across our nation, our state, our county, and our communities.
In Monmouth County, we celebrate not only the birth of the greatest nation in the world, but the significant role our county has played in the fight for independence.
New Jersey is known as the crossroads of the American Revolution, and Monmouth County has a rich history integral to the fight for our nation's independence. It was pivotal in the American Revolution. It was the biggest and longest one-day battle of the Revolutionary War, with General George Washington leading the Continental Army in the attack on the British. But Monmouth County's Revolutionary War story is much more than that.
It's the stories of families and loyalties divided and individuals from different backgrounds attempting to navigate uncertain times. It's a story of the strife and skirmish over many years of the revolution that pitted neighbors against neighbors, friends against friends. Those loyal to the crown had fought against freedom for the colonies more than in any other county in New Jersey.
At the time, Governor William Livingston called Monmouth a theater of spoil and destruction. Monmouth County was truly a battleground in the cause of freedom, and when the war had won, the people of Monmouth County gradually transferred to the peaceful pursuits of agriculture, commerce, and industry.
In the almost 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Monmouth County has grown and flourished to be the ideal place to live, work, and play. Monmouth County has everything. The most expansive parks, open space, our breathtaking shoreline, our beautiful towns and bustling cities, fertile acres of cultivated farmland, innovative industry and business.
Our county has grown to be the 5th most populous in the state, with over 600,000 residents. I truly believe it's the best county in the state of New Jersey. And our people have made their mark on our national
Like this,
landscape.
you're gonna like this.
Accomplished
You're gonna like
entertainers,
this.
poets, and
Here it
writers,
comes.
innovative
Here it
inventors,
comes.
government leaders, renowned judges, famous
Nice.
activists, and
Nice.
so many more. 2026 may seem like a long
Wendy Williams lived here for a
way
while.
off, but we are excited to embark journey toward this momentous event.
Join us as we look back on the people and events that have carved Monmouth County over the past 250 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as we plan our celebrations of the birth of the greatest nation on earth, 250 is coming and Monmouth County will be ready.
I'll tell you, for a big Raider fan, you forgot Filippiano in there.
I had
We go way back.
That's a little family.
So we wanted to do that promo video to kind of set the stage for why we're doing what we're doing. When we go places and we try to promote our county, and really, when we try and go places and promote our county and bring people here for history tourism and to enjoy all the beautiful things we have in the county, we want to make this a big part of everything we do in Monmouth County for the next couple of years. So one of the first things we did was we put together a committee. Yeah. Okay, all right, let's go back then. Sorry. So from the county level, we want to create memorable celebrations and experiences that residents and visitors will enjoy and talk about for years to come. We want to honor and commemorate our rich history and significance to the American Revolution, generate awareness and excitement with residents, visitors, and the surrounding areas through public information campaigns. And we want to collaborate with municipal governments, historical groups, schools, the arts community, the business community, faith-based communities, and so on. We took some actions.
Yes, we
County.
did. So what we've done is that the commissioners, when we talked about this, and Christine and myself talked about it, what we did is we passed a resolution and put a committee together. And that committee consists of, obviously, Christine and myself chairing that committee, and then multiple stakeholders through there and all different types of organizations that can bring in a benefit to the outreach of all the different areas that will benefit us. Now, with that also being said, Christine and I also know that we don't have the time to work on this on a daily, day-to-day operation. So the county took the investment to hire actually somebody, an executive director, to do that. And that's where Ted steps in. There. And Ted Madura has come in, and his whole function is to coordinate with all our different departments, all our different municipalities, and coordinate a very special type of event there. And, you know, I think that's what's going to bring this together to be something a little bit more special than other people do. And the committee the commissioner board has put that financial investment in there to do that. And it kind of goes back to a little bit, and I say this all the way back to 1976. I was very young in 1976, but
I was too.
I don't know about you, but 1976, I can remember, which is like kind of amazing. My dad was on the committee for the bicentennial there, and and I can just remember my town, small town in Neptune City, having these little like special fairs fair and a parade and stuff like that. So we just wanted to amp it up a little, but it's kind of like really like special that, you know, being part of it now, knowing back in 1976, where I'm sure each and every one of us remember that, you know, it was a special time there, but if we could expand this special time.
Is the Freedom Train coming back?
Stay tuned.
Freedom
Stay
Train was
tuned.
cool.
Well,
Looking
we got
into
a lot-
it, though.
we're
Looking into
stay
it.
tuned.
Love the Freedom Train.
So to put this whole thing together, we need branding, we need marketing, the whole package. We came up with this logo, which pulls out the colors of our county flag. It's very specific in terms of its colors. We came up with a slogan, Freedom's Battleground, and that's what we believe Monmouth County was. And our website, monmouthnj250.org. We're on all the social media channels. We're sending out email newsletters. And we started off with a 250 truck this year after our launch that we had. And this is a very special vehicle that will be going to parades, festivals, fairs. Maybe it'll be at the Italian American Festival.
It will be at the Italian American Festival.
Maybe
I
the
can
Fall
promise you
Fest.
that.
Ted has been taking the truck everywhere. It has the capability to play videos and things. The sheriff's office donated this truck, and we designed it with all of our branding. And we have a little video to show about that.
As we approach the 250th anniversary of America, Monmouth County is going to be a big part of that celebration. We were a big part of the Revolutionary War, and we certainly are going to be a big part in celebrating the 250th anniversary of America. Behind me here, we are looking at our repurposed communication vehicle. This truck will be at all the fairs, festivals, parades, any special occasions that we have, generating enthusiasm, identification. I think that brings to light not just Monmouth County, but across the state of New Jersey, how important our role was in the Revolutionary War. And we expect it to be quite a celebration here, as Monmouth County played such a large role in the history of our country.
So if you're familiar, and I'm sure you are, obviously, it's probably even a little more special to us because of obviously, you know, one battle in itself, and that was the Battle of Monmouth. There, right here in our county, there, where, you know, that's why it's so special. And I want to emphasize. So when I decided to do this committee and put this committee together, and obviously we decided to co-chair this together, we're very fortunate because that, like, everybody has a passion. Everybody has something that they're very good at, and, you know, and this here, as I'm going to meetings and different presentations, having Christine part of that, because she loves history, And, you know, with the archives and all that, we're really in a good place. So, and obviously here in Ocean Township, obviously that's our, you know, our pride. So it's gonna be really special here. So it's something we're really looking forward. That's why it was important that we came here to speak to you guys too.
So thank you so much, Tom. So one of the things that we're working on is the county is going to be doing certain things, and then we are encouraging everyone else in the county, no matter who you are, to do your own thing. It could be a block party, it could be a neighborhood thing, it could be a faith-based thing, whatever it is, but the county will be doing certain things at the county level. That is, we're doing all of these videos called Talking 250, highlighting our history throughout the county. We came up, I think Tip came up with that Talking 250, right? We're doing oral histories, print publications. We're working on educational programs for the schools, for elementary, and we're doing a coloring book for elementary school students that's almost ready. We're doing curriculum for maybe middle school and high school to talk specifically about Monmouth County related Revolutionary War history. We're doing some contests. We're working on a fine art contest that's going to be coming up. And we're working on a lot of one-time events. We want to have a countywide gala, a parade, fireworks, things like that. We're hoping that Operation Sail is coming back. Anybody remember Operation
Sure.
Sail? That was such a big deal with the tall ships coming down. Sail 250 is already in place. They haven't said whether they're coming to New Jersey. They did 50 years ago, and we're hoping that they come again and stop at Sandy Hook and make Monmouth County a part of their ride from New York to Delaware.
And it's something that, to piggyback on what Christine was saying about the sailing. So if you're familiar with the Navy has when they commission a boat, it's a a vessel, I should say. A vessel, it is a very, very big thing. Obviously, I wasn't even aware of how big when they commission these vessels, and it takes years upon years upon years to construct it. Well, what they've done is we got into a situation where there's going to be the next vessel that's going to be commissioned, which was supposed to be done April 6th, which has now been pushed out to September there because of just logistics side, was down to Camden and Monmouth County. And we fought hard against Camden. Good? We fought hard against Camden. And, you know, quite frankly, I mean, what does Camden have? With that, you know, our county doesn't have. And that's quite frankly what I said. So I'm not saying nothing that I didn't there. And we fought hard and we won. And that commissioning is going to be at Earl here, and it is a huge, huge event. I can't believe how big, you know, that is, and they come all over for this event. So it's going to be SS Miss Jersey, US Miss Jersey, yes. And as Christine was talking about the gala, I'm going to put you on the spot there. We are going to request and require every municipality to have a table there at the gala, which will be really special, you know, and some sort of signature on the table of each and one. And it's going to be like a real fancy gala. It's going to we're planning, and it's going to be something really, really cool there. But you know, with a top line band and everything like that. But you know, just something to remember, you know, this time, because I'm pretty sure we're never going to see this again. At least I think.
Okay, let's keep going.
It's like Haley's Comet.
Because I have the county archives, I decided to look back into the county archives, and I reviewed every piece of paper that we have relating to the bicentennial. And we've been picking out what each of the towns did everywhere we go. And you can see here, these are the photos and images that I have in the county archives. We had the Oakhurst School PTA Bicentennial Fair. We had the Oakhurst School students designed and sold bicentennial t-shirts and purchased a globe with the funds that they raised. The Bicentennial Committee published a historical perspective of Ocean Township, and there is our beloved Marge Edelson, the Bicentennial Chair, reading a history of Ocean Township with a student. So this has been so much fun for me, looking through all of the materials from 50 years ago and utilizing that information to come up with a lot of the things that we're working on so that we can recreate and exceed and do better than was done 50 years ago. So some of the things that we're asking our municipalities to do is to pass a resolution. I don't think Ocean did it yet.
Yes.
I don't think.
We didn't put the
And,
long list
trust
of
me, I'm throwing
towns
that
that
at
have
Christine all the
already.
time, that her hometown has not passed the resolution
We'll
yet.
get
so-
through it.
So we
Yeah.
have
Can do that.
provided
I can do
all
that.
of our municipalities with a sample resolution.
March 28th, there, Mr. Director.
To sign, basically saying that you are supportive of the commemorations. You could put in there that you're going to establish your own committee, whatever you choose to do, but we did give you a sample. We will be saving all those in archives, for future generations. We would love it if a town forms their own 250 committee to plan like they did for the bicentennial. Form a committee and appoint a liaison to the county so that we can continue the coordination when we have meetings and everything. And then encourage stakeholders, residents, businesses to participate in any way you see fit. Follow us on social and keep us updated with anything that you decide to do, because we're happy to support, we're happy to assist, promote, whatever it is that you decide you're going to do. You want to go?
Sure, no.
Okay. Okay, so a lot of municipalities say to us, like, well, what should we do? People have asked us, well, give us some ideas. So these are just a couple of ideas, but everybody, can come up with their own. Some of the things that we're saying to our municipalities out, in the western part of Monmouth is use this opportunity, get the grants that are out there to preserve our open space. There's a lot of grants from the federal government, national parks, American Battlefield Trust, and the county. Create your own communications and marketing plan. Do your own local oral history program. Mark historic properties. 50 years ago, they had Clean Up America for the bicentennial, so host a community cleanup
Or
program.
clean up Monmouth.
Clean Up Monmouth, we're doing that, Helen. Plans celebratory events or apply a 250 theme to existing events that you may have already.
So what we're also going to do is, as we're requesting municipalities to do these, as Christine was saying, we're already starting on little ideas between Christine, myself, and the committee there, along with Ted's, going out doing some research on. Some of the things that we're thinking about is some increased signage throughout Monmouth here to designate that you're in Monmouth County. We're looking at on the early stages of a very, very, very impressive monument located somewhere to be determined. And then, just some special type of events. That would be, just throwing out some major, maybe possible, some big concerts in there. I'll just leave it at that and let you guys just imagine what we're thinking. But it's just some things that we're going to bring together. But really, I say this over and over again, Monmouth County is only as successful as the 53 towns that are in it. And so if we can incorporate and obviously be an assistance to that, I think we'll stand head over heels over anybody,
Just on a final note, the state of New Jersey has established their 250 committee and their program a couple of years ago. All of this actually started a long time ago in the federal government. I think it was over 10 years ago they started, but then with the pandemic, everything was shut down. So now, because it really takes 10 plus years to do something like this, as big as it was during the bicentennial. So the state of New Jersey has their apparatus set up. I haven't heard of any specific events, but they're doing a lot of history-related grants and education and things like that, and that's Revolutionary NJ or Rev NJ. They have two things. Most of the country, that New Jersey always forges its own path. Most of the country is using 250, like PA 250, Delaware 250, but New Jersey went in its own direction and did revolutionary.
Surprise, surprise.
But we decided to adopt our national partners, Monmouth 250. It's much easier to identify, with all of the other governments that are involved. So something you can look into what the state's doing. They have a lot of grants and information and things like that available.
And one other thing that we are definitely, and it talked about what Christine touched a little bit about land acquisitions. So we're really going to amp up, and a lot in the western part of the county, where really that is really where a lot of history is over in the western part of the county through the revolutionary times. So we're looking at acquiring other open space lands there. And we're going to really be very aggressive on that concept there to purchase that. So we're actually talking internally about increasing some open space tax money potentially to have that happen. So, and obviously Ocean Township and all the other municipalities are more than welcome to always reach out to the county in areas that you think should be preserved. Please reach out to myself on that, and I work hand in hand, and Ross Citra, also on the board, works hand in hand as a liaison to parks, and we're very aggressively working with Andrew Spears in the park system to acquire those parcels.
And that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Is everyone still awake?
Yes.
But we appreciate you listening to us. We hope that we've inspired you to, do your own thing, take action, start your planning, and hopefully pass
a resolution.
Thank you. We will make sure that's on the agenda on the 28th when we meet. We will definitely do that.
Send it to us if you can.
Yep.
So,
So you can review it?
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jesse will take care of that.
Something that's really also special is our last presentation, Christine, and our last presentation was in Millstone, and we had to get in a car and drive for 40 minutes.
This
You're
one
going to
is
get
so
home
nice.
in 2 minutes, and I'm home in like 10 minutes.
Would you mind if we took a picture with them?
With you guys?
Sure.
Yeah, but we'll come back there.
Want to do it in front of
You want us to come down and take it in front of the screen?
You want to do it in front of?
You want to go in front of the screen? Probably better with the screen. Yeah.
You want this hot or turn it off? Hot, please. Thank you.
Yeah, we called each other.
You like that little special time?
I do. I can't wait to share it.
How are you? So good seeing you. So good seeing you. Good seeing you. You guys here in the middle, Christine and I will get on the end with our. All right.
Yeah, right, we got a red, blue.
That's a shot. Big shot.
It's very patriotic.
We did it because we.
Count to three, we're gonna say 250. 1, 2, 3.
250.
That makes it a
Awesome. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's go.
Yeah,
I know it is.
Their main is.
It's got to crack it up somewhere.
I think it's a fun
See you over there?
You did? Safe drive home.
Oh, you don't remember the
Hi,
concept?
sweetie, how are you? We're doing good.
Ted, do we have that list of us?
We're changing the resolution for the first
You
to the
gotta start
third
digging.
day.
Just start digging everywhere. It's gotta be somewhere.
Yes, sir.
I always do. I enjoyed it. It was great.
Well, she's sitting near me now.
Yes, good move. See you later. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, Director.
Thank you.
Because I was in like, school somewhere.
Christine and I will see you guys tomorrow night.
Absolutely, we'll see you.
Yeah. I think we're in New York.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
What time is 7? 6.
6?
Yeah, we'll be there. I'll be there at like 7.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Cocktail? Yeah, you'll miss cocktail hour. What time is it? He's getting there at 7. But we're getting there at 6 for
It
cocktail
was so
hour.
nice to
I'll
meet
be
you,
there at
Ted.
6 for that, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, you will.
And in fact, I'll be there 5:45.
I'll be with you. Save me a spot at the bar.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll see you soon.
That was great.
Hey, it's public question on resolutions and voucher time. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately. The purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions to understand resolutions that appear on the agenda, and it's not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on the agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. We do have one slight change. Resolution 24-62, letter G. The date will be switched from August 7th to the 11th to August 1st to August 11th, 2024. 13th, I'm sorry. So August 1st to the 13th, that's the only change on that. Are there any questions in relation to resolutions or vouchers on the agenda?
Just a resolution.
And the vouchers?
We did the vouchers.
Yeah, but that's all part of it.
Sorry.
Seeing here none, do I have a motion to approve resolutions 2458 through 2471? Consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes, except Resolution 24062, letter G. Conflict of interest.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Vouchers in the amount of $8,870,185.63. Do I have someone offer the vouchers?
I'll offer for the vouchers.
Second.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Resolution 2472, authorizing the mayor to sign a statement in support of Hillel Yeshiva's construction of the new Oakhurst Fire Station. Can I have someone move Resolution 2472?
I'll move Resolution 2472.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan? Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Excuse.
Abstain.
Abstain. Terry?
Here, excuse me.
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Resolution passes. Ordinances up for adoption, 2456, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean 1965, entitled Administration. Can someone open public hearing on ordinance 2456?
I'll make a motion to open public hearing on ordinance 2456.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2456, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing here none, do I have a motion to close public hearing on ordinance 2456?
I'll make a motion to close public hearing on ordinance 2456.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Action on ordinance 2456.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2456 and publish according to law.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance is adopted. Introductions. Ordinance 2457, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean, entitled Flags and Pennants. Can I have someone introduce ordinance 2457?
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance 2457.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. That will have its public hearing on March 28th. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to be heard on anything germane to the Township of Ocean? Any good news? Anything you'd like to say? Questions? Seeing here none, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you for attending.
Great job.
And also Nick have been awesome helping me out. But I have an issue with a neighbor at 242 who purchased the house back in 2021. Basically has multiple code violations. My biggest concern is the person that's renting the house is subletting rooms. There are people in the basement, transient people. I don't know who's living next door to me. They go. The Ocean Township Police have been there multiple times. Monmouth County Sheriff has taken the last.
242.
The last resident away. I know you're working on it. There's also a trailer, oversized trailer, 34 foot, sitting there. My biggest fear too is that someone's gonna be moving in that trailer soon as another place to live. I know that he's supposedly getting fines, being brought to court. I just want to know what you guys can do to expedite the matter. Because it's very scary having just multiple people coming and going and living there. And also the basement apartments too.
Dave, if you want to respond on that one.
What was the address again, just for the?
242. Tracy's aware, she's been great. 242 Perrine Avenue.
Prime, okay. To answer your question is, I'll check with Tracy tomorrow, but I'm absolutely certain they're moving as fast as they can, and then we have to get on the court's agenda. So that should be coming up soon, so I will follow up with it tomorrow morning.
The reason I came, Tracy did say that, but the reason I came is that, could he just be fined? Because other properties he's been fined on, and he just doesn't really care.
Yeah, they have to write the summons, and then it has to go to court, and then that's when the fines will be determined between the prosecutor, and then if he has him representing himself or an attorney, and then the judge will make the final determination on the
But
fines.
also expediting, like getting the trailer out, how does that work? Does he just keep getting
Same,
fined?
yeah. It's just like was it
Due process?
like no? How much a day the fine could be?
Oh, I don't.
No, so it's like $1,000.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 or
But
2,000 a day is the
Whether he pays
max.
it or not, it could be like tacked onto his, I guess, tax
And,
bill.
and it'll be per day too, so
Right.
up to the court date.
Okay.
So, but unfortunately, that's the process. We got to take it to court.
It's very disheartening, because Ocean Township, my neighborhood, was awesome until this gentleman started buying homes. I know it's happening not just in my neighborhood. All right, thank you.
But I will follow up tomorrow. Like you said, Tracy's phenomenal.
She is, and so
Yep.
Nick has been awesome as well.
Good,
And the
good.
Ocean Township Police will have to show up there multiple times.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.